Hey everybody, this is Blue, and I wanted to talk about keeping politics out of your role playing game. Unless you are doing something that is set in the modern time period, try to keep modern politics out of the game, okay? Our hobby is about escapism. It is our way to, for a while, forget about the world that's outside these four walls and to relax, to unwind. Maybe we go into a battle and we blow up some stress because we let our characters go slaughter something. And so try to keep your politics out because it will take away from the reality of your game. The examples I want to give is, let's say that you are a liberal Democrat, okay? Nobody is going to be very happy, even if they are also liberal Democrats just like you, if you decided that you were going to have a Balrog attack the group and it looks like Donald Trump, okay? And on the reverse of that, if you are a conservative Republican, yes, you might get a chuckle out of it, but nobody is going to be taking you seriously or your game seriously if all of a sudden they're attacked by a banshee named Jill Biden. Keep your politics out of the game. You can take basic concepts of history and put them into your game. But try to keep your politics out, especially modern politics. An example for me, I'm doing an alternative Earth game in which the Roman Empire is easily defeated in the Punic Wars, and a rebel fighter for the failed Romans is Benito Mussolini. Okay, now this is a fantasy game. This would be like the year 200 of the Middle Ages. Okay, this is, swords and magic. So I just have a character named Benito Mussolini, and he is leading a rebel group trying to fight the Greeks and the Carthaginians. Okay? But we have problems is when we put our modern politics in there, we hit problems like gender identity. A lot of racial issues are being thrown into role-playing games, and we are having activists, Tumblr activists, Twitter activists, and all that attacking role-playing games, saying that they are problematic, that they're hateful, that they're sexist, and then they are going to attack people like myself because since I am a white male and white men are apparently the root of all evil, they will attack players like myself, game masters like myself. And so we have to put up walls to keep our politics away from our game. Another problem that's happening is there are game designers out there that are trying to tell who can buy their game and who can play their game. This was because at a Warhammer convention, there were people that dressed up in apparently German World War II outfits because that was part of their gaming system. And people got offended, and they did not want people that did not agree with their political ideals playing their game. And this has brought down some of the wargaming, role-playing games. Both Marvel and DC are having issues because they have people that are going and saying, if you don't like my politics, don't read my book and all that. And So these people are forgetting how capitalism works, because you need to put positive advertisement out there for people to be interested in buying your product. If you push them away and insult them and to call them ists and phobes, they're not going to want to buy your product. And if nobody's buying your product, you're going to lose money. You might have to have your company closed and all that. So, what has happened is, in the tabletop role-playing game recently, WotC, good old Wizards of the Coast, has decided that they were going to drop half-elves and half-orcs from their role-playing game. And so, there we go. Wizards of the Coast, the company that publishes the official materials for the role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons, is planning to eliminate the half-elf and half-orc races in forthcoming editions because half construction is inherently racist, according to the game designers. How? One thing that they haven't done is try to explain how it's inherently racist. I think that it is racist by saying that purebloods only are allowed in the game. They are kind of mimicking what they did in World War II Germany, because they believed that the Germans were the master race, the superior race, and so they only wanted Germans to have children with other Germans. They did not want German people to be with other people because they felt it was polluting the gene pool. The World War II Germans did eugenics. And so saying that half breeds, half races were not allowed, they're kind of mirroring that. And I don't like that. There are activists that are pushing this. We have people on Twitter that are complaining about half mixed breeds, mixed races, and they are trying to say that they're taking modern politics and shoving it into a fictional game. And they are destroying the game. They're ruining the game for people. People are having to walk on eggshells at times because they might say something that might offend somebody. Somebody's safe space could have been violated because all of a sudden, I want a half-orc. Okay? So, luckily, the concept of half-elves and half-orcs have lived for a long time. In fact, they are very popular characters. Elrond from Lord of the Rings is actually a half-elf. Okay? So, according to WotC, this is wrong. This is inherently racist. And it's BS. The concept of half-elves has existed, well, I should say half-breeds, crossbreeds, has existed for a long time. It has been shown in other videos that in Norse mythology, elves and humans, got it on and had mixed race children. And so we're talking, this is 1,000 years old, but now it is racist. I could halfway see maybe some of these game designers, maybe they are extremely religious and they're using the Bible. If you remember in the Bible, the angels came down and they started to breed with human women. And they had, oh gosh, if I could pronounce it right, the Nephilim, the half angels, half humans, and they were evil. And that is why God, according to the Bible, did the Great Flood, because he had to kill all these crossbreeds. Okay? So they are looking at it through tinted glasses. In my game, I allow there to be cross breeds. The only problem I had with it was that, they'd say it's a half elf, and it's assumed that the other half is human. And, I thought that was kind of limiting. And so as I labeled it, it was a cross. And so you say what the two races that were crossed. So then you could have a dwarf elf cross. I mean, yeah, that would have been quite the character to draw up and how to figure out all the racial bonuses. What I did was I just averaged their 2 on each stat, and that's what they got. And I always rounded up, so it made the characters a little bit more functional. But doing it this way, you could have a lot of weird combinations, and you can incorporate a lot of different races. Some things I think you have to say are genetically impossible because, in fantasies they do have insectoid type races, and I think you should draw the limits to saying mammal based life forms such as humans, elves, hobbits, and all that, they can crossbreed. All insectoid races can crossbreed, and all dragon and reptilian type of races can crossbreed as well, so that you can have a lot of options. And it's not racist because you're saying that everybody in their groups are equal and special. If you are saying that you can't do them, in my eyes, you are saying that, because they did this with humans, they are lesser in some form. They are somehow bad. And I don't believe in any race being extremely bad. And so since we're talking about races here, in my worlds, I do not allow there to be one-dimensional characters. This has also been brought up by activists and all that. And in some ways, I do agree with them. I hate one-dimensional characters. Orcs, evil. Trolls, evil. Dragonians are evil. And elves are elegant and all this. I don't like that. And this goes even into science fiction and all. This is my example that I want to use here. Klingons from Star Trek. They're all warriors, and it's a warrior race. They're so one-dimensional because they have it where if you don't die in battle, you died a dishonorable death. How in the heck did they eat? Somebody had to grow the food. Somebody had to take care of the animals and all that. Okay? Who developed the technology? Because if you're busy fighting everything, you don't have time to build a phaser. You don't have time to experiment to develop a cloaking device. So I believe that all races need to be multifaceted. In my world, my orcs are not inherently evil. You can have them where they are controlled and influenced by a greater deity. But as individuals, my orcs are capable of doing good. In fact, in my world, I have a group of orcs that are in northern Africa, and they are aligned with the Carthaginians to fight the Egyptians. And, they are able to develop their own culture. and this makes for a better game. If you want to be a good role master, I think you have to open your mind to the possibilities. Every time you set a limitation, every time you take away from the game. You know, yeah, there's a lot of half-elves, but wouldn't it be kind of cute to see what a hobbit elf cross looks like and what their abilities are? So I rambled on long enough about this. I would love to hear what you think about it. Please put your comments down below, and everybody please take care. Be at peace.